Call the roll.
Day,
Here.
DeGeronimo,
Here.
Narduzzi,
Here.
Tagliati,
Here.
Tracus,
Present.
Laverca,
Here.
Walter.
Here. And if the Reverend Matthew Garrett would please indulge us, help us.
Thank you. I'm grateful for being with you again for the invocation of your meeting. I'm going to start the meeting with just a short prayer, and then we'll lead into the Lord's Prayer. If anyone is so inclined, please feel free to say that. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Eternal Lord, ruler of all, graciously regard those who have been set in positions of authority among us, that, guided by your Spirit, they may be high in purpose, wise in counsel, firm in good resolution, and unwavering in duty, that under them we may be governed quietly and peaceably, through Jesus Christ our Lord, who taught us to pray, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, always. Let's see. Pledge. Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah, please stand for pledge of allegiance. You gotta do that too. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 29th, 2025 Streets and Sidewalks Committee meeting, the August 7th, 2025 Streets and Sidewalks Committee meeting, the August 12th regular council meeting, the August 18th, 2025 Finance Committee meeting, and the August 18th, 2025 council workshop. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No. And the reason for that is we're getting this stuff very late.
Okay.
The final moment, and trying to anticipate multiple pages of these and expect to be able to read them and actually find out that they are accurate is insufficient time. And there is no reason that you should be approving these tonight.
Okay, but 6-1, thank you. Let's see, we have audience participation.
I don't believe anybody's saying here.
Okay. Let's see, we have removed 2025-99 from the agenda. And it was suggested we do it this way so we don't have to renumber everything. So it's just easier to do that this way. And that's a good start. So let's go to ordinance 2025-102-104. Ron, you want to explain that one?
Yes, Mayor. So we have been utilizing Cooper County this in 2018. In most years, we do the mild winter conditions, we did surplus. We made 2 purchases in the annual, one prior to January, and another shortly after the start of the new year. However, due to the severity of last winter, our inventory was completed. To ensure that we are adequately prepared for the upcoming season, and what we have to fully utilize our stock in the town. Proactively restocking now the hubs when we need personnel for the additional funding, and will reduce the risk of running out of critical equipment during the operational months. The total amount of received pricing is Commissioner's Charlie, and
Doesn't affect us today. What else is going on? Okay, any questions on 2025-104? And I'll pick it up consent agenda. We have 2025-105.
Excuse me, I don't see anything saying we have a consent agenda. It's on the page, like, oh,
It doesn't matter if council wants to put it in consent agenda, they have the authority to do that.
It should be on page 2, Dale, on the back of the first page.
On the back of, there it is.
Oh, it's not really guys.
I'm waiting for the guy.
It's not on Dale's.
Does he have the revised agenda?
Revision 1. Yeah. This must be, maybe possibly, that was just handed out today, like that, right there.
It was sitting
Yeah.
in everybody's spot.
I think there's a second.
Oh, is it sitting at this?
This was sitting at our spot.
At your spot. It could be at your spot.
That would be 2 though, right? Because different ones. That doesn't happen.
Is it by your spot?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we have 2005-105. That's the County Board of Health. That's something we do every year. And for 2026, it's 67,953. In 2027, it's 76,143. This, any interaction with the health department, any issues, all our restaurants, it's all part of this cost.
I think I just wanted to question on the restaurant part of it. Do they report back to us and we have like a written report of those sections of the inspections?
I've never seen a written report, never asked for one.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that when they do their inspections, that's an internal issue between the restaurant and the County Board of Health. If there was a situation that they needed support with, they would contact the city fire department if it was fire suppression. Never had, is that fair, chief?
Yeah, typically, we don't get regular reports back to them, but we can count our problems, report it to them, they will follow up on what actions were taking place, what had to be done, and the follow up on that. So we kind of work hand in hand with them in terms of inspections, and then in the case of a fire, if they fire from our restaurants, they help work to get the business back in business by getting everything inspected quickly and approved, as long as everything's put back together, they make those approvals. So, that's how they function within restaurants. They also do inspections on some of the food venues for events, food trucks and such, that they do. They also do a little public education as well.
Thank you. I just wasn't sure whether the public communities have sort of posts their inspection reports, and that's what prompted my question.
We can check that. This is, might be interesting information.
That's
Between Allah, check with the County Board of Health and see if we can get some information from that. That's good for public to understand. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions on 2025-105? Any objection to putting it on consent agenda? Put 2025-05 on consent agenda. We have 2025-06.
Yeah, this is for the fire department. This is for upgrades to our siren or weather siren activation system. Currently on the older 154 megahertz radio system. And we're looking to upgrade that to the 800 megahertz public safety band, is what the police and fire operate on, or our dispatch operates on. Our dispatch center is also looking into installing an automated system that all the sirens off in the various cities on the same frequency. So that 800 megahertz. So we're just looking to make that jump up to this, require the changing out circuit boards and custom equipment that's manufactured specifically from this vendor. We'd like to move forward with that upgrade this time. There's 8 different plans that we have to be touched.
Any questions for the chief on 12606? As long as they don't do it at 12 o'clock at noon when we're having the city parade, we're okay. Thanks, Dave. That's supposed to be funny, Dave. Any objection to putting on consent agenda? Yes, it was. Okay, we'll put 2025-106 on the consent agenda. We can all hear now. It's taken us a couple months, but we're good. We have orders 2025-107.
Good evening. In front of all the members of council and the mayor, I had put a revised award schedule for the snowplow routes. And I'll address that first. The reason being that Route 3 was removed from Outdoor Solutions. And Route 3 was awarded to Walchanowitz, and Route 13 was then awarded to Outdoor Solutions. It was actually a cost savings change. All the other routes remain the same. And I'd like to make a couple comments on how I, make my award recommendations. The bid went out to email it to 14 people in addition to being advertised in the Plain Dealer. We received one response from somebody that saw the ad. He was from South Eastwood. I told him, I said, you're more than welcome to bid on it, but I didn't think from my standpoint, I would feel comfortable awarding to somebody that far away in the distance. But if you look over time, these contractors don't have the labor force that they've had in the past. Frank Labor used to be able to take, he offered to take the whole city at times. This round, he only bid on 4 driveways. There are 4 routes. Alexis property only bid on 1 route. So consequently, what I was forced to do is make awards based on vendors' capacity or contractors' capacity. That's why there might be 1 or 2 situations where somebody would have bid lower, but the contractor that had that route for a number of years or just only bid on that route, we more or less had to award to them because otherwise we wouldn't have the coverage. As it stands now, we're able to award 19 out of the 21 routes. And I would like to get some direction from council to find out if you're comfortable with doing just an informal bid process for those remaining 2 routes, or how you would like me to proceed. I don't think if we advertise going to go through that procedure, I don't think it's really we're going to benefit from it.
Is this the same request you made last year where council authorized, or you went out and found some additional vendors and then council approved that?
Yeah, yes, if we've been looking for the advice for council, gave me the flexibility to do that. I did speak with the law director and he said, council would, I have to come to council with any proposals I receive, and council would have the final say to award.
So, not to preempt anything, but you want to leave, you want this on first reading and then, or do you want to pass this and then still do the informal bidding?
If council to award the 19 routes that we have, and we'll be able to, the 2 remaining routes and during the interim, because I'd like to let these contractors know that, they've been, what routes they've been awarded, so they don't go for other work.
Council?
Mayor, I think that the way we did last year, we proposed it's fine. I think that we've done what we can to the public bidding process and the informal bidding process that's successful in the past, and it didn't seem to be more expensive than the formal bidding process. So, I think we tried that route, and let's try to bring it on the other end.
John? Yeah,
I'm going to just ask, did anybody not bid one of the contractors that we followed off from previous events?
A couple of contractors have tried to go out and do more commercial because they feel that, they have commercial accounts, they're going to plow when there's 2 inches of snow, you're going to salt. And it's more dependent for them to have people in place to do that. all winter as opposed to just, waiting for snows of, 4 inches or more.
I'm sorry, how many would need to be bid?
But we can, my recommendation is to award 19 of the 21 rounds.
Okay.
And then informally bid
Yeah.
to last.
And the remaining, correct.
And if he gets things done by next week and we call a meeting for Tuesday, then we can catch those then if you're by then.
Dennis, which routes weren't covered?
What, round 4 and round 6?
Well, you,
And actually with the packet,
same as.
I went up there
Area
today, I
area.
left an outline of what streets are on what route.
Did the city plow any last year at all? Did we handle any areas?
You know what, I believe we go out if there's a problem, if somebody's,
Yeah.
missed or something like that. We did not,
Missed one and we'd send somebody.
we didn't take any routes. This, state parking lots are handled by recreation.
Is that fair, Ron? Service, we just go out on an emergency, or if there was a missed route, we don't have the resources to go out and do some routes, do some complete routes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any objection to putting this on consent agenda? And then we'll get the formal pricing for the last two, informal pricing for the last two routes, if that's okay with council. Okay, then
Thank
we'll
you.
put that on the consent agenda. 107. We have 2025-108. Don, you want to speak to that?
Thank you. Yeah, Megan Swinton has helped the engineering department for the last 10 years plus, specifically with right-of-way inspections, and that is to oversee work done by contractors working for private utility companies in our right-of-ways. When we issue permit for utility work, we require inspection deposit funds. Those deposit funds are posted by either the contractor or the utility company specifically to pay for these inspections. So we've been working on a $50,000 PO from the spring up till now. It's been relatively quiet in regards to private utility work. However, we got a lot of money and we have some big jobs lined up coming here this fall that are going to be working through till the weather turns in the winter. And these big jobs will require full-time inspection. And so we were here before council asking for an additional $50,000 total for the Megan Smith to help us with these inspections through the balance of the year.
Any questions from council? Any objection to putting this on consent agenda? Thank you. We have 2025-109. Don, you're still up.
Here we've had ACM as one of our handful of contractor consultants watching over our maintenance contract with, and in the process, a little bit of an oversight on my part, in the process of reviewing and paying invoices for August, which were actually for the work performed in July. We realized that we were going to be in trouble and out of money, and so they're requesting that now legislation for an additional $50,000 to cover the current ongoing work and the balance of the work to anticipate concrete and creek maintenance contracts to also work throughout the rest of this season before the weather turns. And we're looking at, when you add this 50, the original 100,000, when you look at the total contract value, which was nearing $2 million for these contracts, it's still a nominal 5%, which is still well within the sweet spot that we'd like to see for inspection as a percentage of construction contract. So basically, this nice job is asking for additional offers.
Any questions of the engineer? No objection. I'll put it on the consent agenda. We have 2025-110. Don, was that you again?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty simple. In regards to the Cordia Village subdivision, we did require a loop system for the water main that's run from the development north through an easement out to Stone Road to help with the redundancy of the system, closed loop. And the Clean Water Department was not necessarily named on the plat for the easement, just the city and the HOA was. So they always typically require it because they operate the system and need access to the mains that they are responsible for to operate. This document, this easement agreement just provides them the easement.
Is this loop, Don, anyway benefit the houses on Stone Road? The houses on,
Reporting in progress.
Possibly could because of the additional pressure from the 8. It's only at 6, I believe, to a point down Stone before it turns to an 8.
if it breaks somewhere, they still have access water, reverse of water then in that respect, correct? Or-
Yeah, it could, yes, if it breaks
Okay.
somewhere between Brexville and this connection.
Yeah, the houses, all of houses up on top of the hill.
Right, it could backfeed, it could
So
provide
they would-
water.
Okay. And if there breaks, and if it breaks in that section and they have to shut down in that section, then this loop would help the houses going down the hill.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions for the engineer?
I just have one question. I just make sure I understand. The second paragraph, the second section talks about the easement in favor of the city. And the city of Cleveland. Is that supposed to be the city of Independence and the city of Cleveland?
Clearwater Park.
I'm just saying, it says in favor of the city and the city of Cleveland. Which I could grant for.
It would be-
That's I verify, that's.
Without.
So the city refers to independence.
That's what I wanna make sure that's-
Okay.
yeah, correct.
Okay. So it's both of them then.
Yes, that's all I'm going to verify. Thanks.
Any other questions? Objection, we'll put it on the consent agenda. Okay, we have, we're gonna remove, 2025-111, from the agenda to get further information. We have 2025-112. Don, still you, I think.
Earlier, we reported that we had authorized American Construction Point to do a traffic study because of the plans for the school to bring the primary school, school to the campus here. So we authorized a $50,000 contract for a comprehensive study and look at our campus with all the different dynamics and moving parts that we have planned on campus in addition to the school. So they've been working on that, and we've got some preliminary results just late last week that we're starting to digest and plan to bring that before council. So just in my short time with American Construction Point, they've impressed me. They work hard and they're very interested to help us. I expressed to them our needs for our challenges for funding with infrastructure projects, specifically water mains. And they're out beating the bushes, so to speak, looking for some funding for us. And so I'd like to authorize an additional $35,000 for a $50,000 total contract for general services, just to help me in my actually day-to-day work, as well as specifically for some funding resources. Brad is here from American Construction Point, just wanted to come and introduce himself and say hello. He's the business development director. He does a very nice job for us.
Come on up. We gotta say hello. Thank you for what you've been doing to support us in various projects and stuff. Any questions of council?
I actually just got a question on where do you the legislation? Was it changed, I believe, this afternoon or something, the language in the new legislation?
Yeah, I believe there was a recommendation for some simple language that just needed to be cleaned up, housekeeping.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the new language because I was questioning about code. But it's an additional $35,000.
An additional 30.
Would that go towards the original purpose then as well, which is the 15,000 for the same study?
No.
Or is that completely different? That's why I was looking, because it talked about.
Yeah, additional services. Right, 15 covers the study.
That's that study. This is 35,000, but the additional study outside of it.
Or just additional support of the engineering department, and specifically for some grants, looking for some funding.
We're looking for some grants and they have an expertise and experience and knowledge that they can afford us. We want to take advantage of that, full advantage of that, as well as other studies. So that's why we're asking for this. Any other questions of council?
I would just say the same thing I said, the Streets and Sidewalks Meeting, and welcome, good luck with your proposals, and please stay away from those horrible European guys or come over to England and let us have real trees here. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, Mayor, Council, appreciate the opportunity, Don, appreciate the kind words. We're excited to help you guys out and identify sources. try to bring some additional funds.
I hope we can have you back up here when you show us the money you're gonna help get, so. We look forward to your next appearance. Any objection to putting this on consent agenda? Okay, bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2025-113. Don, I think you're still up.
Mayor, we talked about this at length at the committee meeting, the most recent one. And this really is, it's for the upgrade of our outside road traffic signal system. It's antiquated, 20 years old. We've been limping it along, and GPD group helped us in 2023 to submit a comprehensive grant application to the CMAC program. And we were successful in securing almost $900,000 in free money for that grant. So it's a multi-year project that we're working through. GPD helped us put the proposal together. We talked at length with the scope, with council. And in addition to the basics that you get with a project like this for new controllers, new cabinets, preemption, detection, we also wanted to add some fiber to the control signal system. Might give us opportunities for video detection at every intersection. We talked about some pedestrian traffic signal upgrades and accommodations for crew ramps, and talk about paintings and traffic poles, upgrading signal heads. So it's very comprehensive. And when we add those scope items up, it enabled GPD to kind of finalize their proposal and identify the fee, which they said that the base fee of $464,231. It's a couple year process. The construction is anticipated till 27 and 28. And because of the duration of that design work and the uncertainty of what the system is out there and things we may find during the design, we recommend the 10% contingency. Base fee for this contract based on contract value is about a little over 15–16%. We'd like to see 10 to 12, but that's for standard construction projects. When we get into bridge design and comprehensive traffic signal design, that percentage tends to creep up to 15 to 20. So still reasonable rounds we can anticipate for a fair regional design service fees.
Any questions from council?
Yeah, we just received this yesterday. So I had a brief opportunity to take a look at this. But the streets and sidewalk, will they be meeting to discuss this possibly?
We did discuss it, but I'll say what we had discussed, there's like alternates. So we talked about, maybe it's $2 million, maybe it's $3 million. But I guess this is just the engineering portion of it, Don, and I'm guessing we will continue to talk on it and.
Well, this will be dynamic. But what it does is, I think it gives Don some flexibility to keep this moving. Is that?
Well, my question is further to the finance director. This was not fully funded in the CIP, correct?
In the current draft of the CIP capital improvement plan, 250,000 is listed for this in 2025 with additional amounts in 2026 and 2027. So if this was adopted and we had to enter into a contract with GPD this year, we'd be have to appropriate that 250 as well as tap into some money that's currently in the gateway to up 68.
This is the major project you identified at the streets committee meeting, correct? The big project that the engineering has to be completed.
Correct. In order to meet our timelines that we committed to, accept the grants with NOACA, we were in need to secure engineering design services in this year, so that we can meet the schedule, complete the design work and get project out beyond construction in 27.
Who's going to pay the majority of the construction?
It'll be about 900,000 with the CMAC, and then the rest of it will be 100% local.
Okay.
We roughly have that amount now.
Like Councilman DiGiorano mentioned, it's based on the scope of work that we were looking to do. The GPD estimated those costs, and I do believe around $3 million, give or take.
So 3 million plus 900,000 or 2.1 million plus 900,000?
I believe that 3 million was the total.
Total.
Yeah, of the waste.
You're right, 902.1 million is the framework of the cost. But without this engineering, if I understand my recall from that meeting is, if we don't do this engineering, then we don't get anything.
We'll never get to a project that we can bid and construct, that's correct.
Are you gonna spend all that money this year though, the 464,000?
No, not,
Can
no.
we split it up and that's so we don't have to allocate funds for it this year and put it on for next year?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we will not spend that, all this money in balance of the months that are remaining in this calendar.
Right. If you
But
think,
he's gotta allocate it for this year.
Well, if council approves a whole amount, suppose we could work something out with GPD to issue a PO for part of it this year.
the 250,000,
That's administrative call working with GPD. I think if they're accepting of that. And look, they've got a long relationship with Independence, so it probably will be okay. But if it was a vendor that didn't have a lot of track record with the city came to them and said, hey, we want to just issue a PO for say half of it now, or maybe half in the future. You know, they risk a chance that half in the future never materializes. We have a good relationship with GPD, so I'm sure that wouldn't be their concern.
well, we have a better relationship now. They just moved their division into independence. And they also just added, and I just got a call last week, they added another 20 engineers to their payroll. So they're growing into the space. And by the way, all the council, you're invited to, if you ever want to go to GPE's new office area on Oak Tree. You're more than welcome. They did a wonderful job of transitioning that, I think it's the third floor or the fourth floor of the former CEI, whatever you want to call it, it's interior, radio. But they've done you gotta really go up there to appreciate what they've done and the engineers they've brought on board are it's really a nice, interesting dynamic. And I haven't tried the coffee machine, but I was there to see it when they install it. And yeah, can't wait to go and try it. I'm not a big coffee guy, but this machine was so exquisite. It was like, wow. So if you ever want to go or if you have a chance to stop up and see their offices, they're really nice.
The 22 engineers is may pay for itself, man.
Yeah, you're right. So how do you want to proceed with this, Vern? If we authorize it, we have to have the,
Council could authorize the whole amount. I'm sure that's what GPD is looking for, but then Don and I could talk to the GPD rep and see about breaking the PO up into smaller increments.
If we authorize, if we authorize up to the amount, would that help you at all, just to say, hey, there's trepidation about the timing or something?
Look, if they need the whole PO, we'll move money around and make it happen this year.
they'll limit the PO to, they'll be, because they're not gonna do the whole thing right away. There's plenty of other work we've got going with them right now, so. If we pass this, it'll be with the understanding that we're not gonna issue a PO until the additional funds are managed in 2026. Is that fair? Is that okay, Vern? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, if not, I think your comments said engineering 2026, construction 2027, 2028. So maybe we're just getting ahead of the curve here unless they intended to actually start doing engineering work here in fourth quarter 2025.
They can focus on our water line. Okay, any objection to, let's see. Any objection to putting 2025-113 on consent agenda?
I just had a question about the ongoing construction of the city of Seven Hills. Will they be adding any additional traffic lights to the corridor west of Lombardo?
I don't know what they're they're doing what, they know the construction, I'm familiar with the construction, and we've had conversations with, Seven Hills, concerning Lombardo Center. But we can ask, that's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, all the lights on the corridor should
Right.
be coordinated. And I-
So anything that they add should be part of that process. Exactly, Crossview, and then there's one further up by the nursing home, I believe, too. Which wouldn't impact, but still, it should be coordinated. Don, will you confirm that?
Sure.
And report back to council at the next streets committee meeting?
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay, we'll get that answer. Any other questions? Object to put that 2025-113 on the consent agenda. Oh, let's see, we have 2025-114, Don?
It's a point of American Strike, helping us prepare this application for Public Works Commission, issue 1, fund, issue 2. For Greco Road, phase 2 and 3 water main replacements and resurfacing improvements from East Sprague and Roxbury. As everyone knows, on council, we've been reporting the significant cost of this infrastructure upgrade. The shortfall of our capital planning to be able to absorb these sort of costs. So this application is, I think this sort of project is a perfect candidate for that project, which is infrastructure for the water mains and for the roadway. It's the American Structure Point looked at its preliminary scoring, and based on last year's points and awards that that program issued, we feel like we have a decent application. Of course, it's predicated on last year, and of course, the range can shift from year to year, but we do believe we have a good shot. And we are in dire need of funding. So it's a $13 million overall infrastructure cost. And so the breakdown was 40-60. We identified that would give us the best scenario of securing funds, 40% grant, 60% city, but of the city, 60%. Nearly $2 million of that is committed by ODOT for services. So a lot of times when those we show the support from different funding sources, it does tend to prioritize a project. So they're helping us. The application is due this Thursday, so it's critical to get this consent legislation adopted to support the application.
Any questions from Don on that one?
I just had a question about these figures that were supplied as part of this application on page 147 of our 300-page packet. If you look at the number of lead connections on Brexville Road, is it true that there's 87 homes that are connected with a lead connection?
Yeah, that is from the water department, according to their records. That's records that they have, so we don't have anything to dispute that. It's probably due to the age of the main. And I know I mentioned that throughout the city, as we've had occasion to do a lot of water main replacements, we very rarely come across lead connections, but the records show on this main, due to the age that there are a number of connections that would need to be replaced, and they really would be replaced with the project.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, we talked over the last year on one of these big infrastructure projects. So the intent here is to really combine the $1,021 that we talked about. It includes the funding for that. It includes some of the work we talked about in the downtown, the streetscape, the curb repairs, and the infrastructure and the water. So all those things that we've talked about, this kind of, that's what that 13 million represents, to really address all those things along 21.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about the concrete work. Definitely for the water main member servicing, I have to revisit the details of the application cost estimate. But it's definitely for a comprehensive project that when we were considering breaking the water main up into 3 different segments, 3 different projects, combining the, still committed to get out in front with phase 1, which was from Sprague to Pleasant Valley. Under design with that, we still had hopes to bid that out over the winter, awarded it really out of the gate in 26 and get that constructed the review of next year. But then 2 and 3, we're trying to combine them and do the resurfacing upon the completion of that water main. So that definitely would be probably a 2-year construction project process. but probably line up in 26 or 27, or actually 27 to bring the road out to surface.
Any other questions? Any objection for the consent agenda? 114, and going to the consent agenda. We have 2025-115. This is for the authorizing the mayor to negotiate the purchase of 6066 Brexville Road.
Make a motion to remove this from the agenda.
Second. Why?
Because I had no intention of selling this property. And if you read the legislation, it reads that I desire to sell the property and I have agreed to enter into a purchase and sale agreement, both of which are untrue.
Well, the city's blind with who owns property in the city, especially when it comes to, it looks like infrastructure projects. I'm confident that we could come to some understanding, so I would agree to leave it on first reading. So,
Motion second.
So let me, so I can understand. So, well, Director, the language even says that the guys re-married to agree to the CAD. So, can we do that? I mean, what's the appropriate?
Well, it's not a taking, it's an arm's length transaction, so we would take two to tango.
so I'll just leave it on first reading.
So, well, I guess the question, I know the question is, if the ordinance is not accurate, based upon what I'm understanding, do you leave it on first reading or do you remove it because and revise the language at some point in time? That's my question.
Well, so if the ordinance is represented that this is an arm's length transaction that was negotiated and agreed to, is going to be a sale, it's not the case, then you get to the end of the legislative process and you wouldn't have a willing seller on the other end, so.
So then what happens? And the city can modify its position at that point.
Yep.
So when we get to that point, if
Yeah.
we don't agree with something, then we come back to city council.
City has its
Right.
options of takings clauses and whatnot, or that's the other option.
Right.
To acquire the property, which requires an appraisal, so on and so forth.
Which is what we've done in the past. Okay, so I still think we leave it on first reading and then we can begin the process of coming up to something that we need the property at some point. So it's a matter of the city's blind when it comes to who owns property. We've bought those two houses on 21 and worked that deal out. And so, but if there's a motion and a second, call the roll on removing it from the agenda. Because the first,
Another question.
Yeah.
This is, if you kept it out, would you refer to public lands? Is that
yeah,
what you do?
exactly.
So,
A workshop,
um,
a workshop or public buildings and lands, either one. That's what I would recommend we do. That way there's, at least it makes us, everybody aware of what's going on because we're gonna move forward with that project at some point. And I'm confident we can come to some arrangement, but we won't know until we have the process in play. So you just can't not do anything. You gotta have some communication. So I suggest we leave that first reading and we'll begin the process. Then the only people we can ever acquire or take land is city council. So, but without discussions, negotiations, you're not gonna do anything. And we still gotta get those properties in order to do that northern project at some point. So that's the long and the short of it. So I would just leave it on first reading. We're not taking any action other than getting the ball rolling. That's all we're doing.
So
So
we've got a motion in a second.
on the, I'll call the roll.
Well, I would like to just, obviously, you know, who's sitting in the other properties and cities positions. Why don't we see if we can sit down together and see what comes of it? And the only reason I'm saying that is because maybe this comes back to standard easement of a couple of feet in front of the property. maybe that would be more satisfactory to the building owner. I think that was something that, could work out, because I know we've got several of those properties that are fairly close to the road there, but, we took a pause about a year ago. And I thought that was a prudent pause, and maybe there's some ways that all the building owners can kind of work together to find something that works with the city and like that half, rather than maybe, talking through people. Let's just kind of get it together and see if there's a way to do that.
Sure. I think this is the first step to try and do something now. At least it gets the situation in progress. You're starting moving forward, at least. You're not sitting still. So we have a motion, a second on to remove it from the agenda is the first motion, then the second one, we'll just leave it on first reading, so.
So you don't even want to negotiate with the city at all?
No, I have no intentions of selling the property.
Okay, so,
We expressed that in emails to the mayor on council. I was very surprised when this legislation appeared.
well, you can't stop City Hall from just moving forward with infrastructure projects either. So call the roll and then we'll move forward. Call the roll and we'll move forward, one way or the other.
Day,
Sorry, what's the motion?
Motion is to remove it from the agenda.
Yes.
DeGeronimo,
No.
Narduzzi,
No, I mean,
Tagliati,
Yes.
Tracus,
I,
Laverca,
Yes.
Walchanowitz.
Yes.
It's removed from the agenda. Okay, someone's gonna have to negotiate something, so it doesn't go away, guys. We have ordinance 2025-116.
Received a notice just late last week, Thursday, from a representative from MoDOT regarding an LTA project, their preventative maintenance program scheduled for 2026. They just need some sound legislation adopted by every participating community, which is us, Valley View, and Coyote Heights. This is sort of the segment of the Pretzel Road, basically from the Cloverleaf north of the East 71st Street, because of the way the quote line is follow the old river. The project, we have a small piece of it. We try to upload it as an exhibit to show council general limits of the job. We have a small piece that impacts the plans, but it's of no consequence from a financial standpoint. That is not asking for any financial participation from the city to get this project done. It's just a consent. I think very similar to the Range Road resurfacing project that occurred last year or two that impacted Brooklyn Heights and Independence and Valley View. So very similar in nature. They are in a hurry and they gave us very short notice. They apologize, but they were hoping for a quick turnaround on the legislation.
Any questions on 2015-25-116? On the consent agenda. We have orders 2025-117.
This is an ordinance that authorizes non-bargaining fire department supervisory group.
Recording in progress.
It's
Some of the benefits of this goes hand in hand with 17, 18, and 19. 17 is lining with the same injury duty language and aid language. That's permitting the non-bargaining. And then that's what we're doing on 17.
Is there, again, we just got these, I haven't had an opportunity to review that, but is there a problem if we keep that first reading and then revisit that after we have a chance to read these documents? At least I do. Everybody else has had a chance to look at it. But we just got them late yesterday, so.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Would that be okay if we kept it on first reading?
Sure.
I mean, is that?
that goes for all three of them, 17, 18.
Yeah, yeah. And that, because that's, and if we meet next month and approve it, because that's still leave enough time, but. I'm sorry, Chief.
That would be fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna leave 17, 18, and 19 on first reading, is that correct?
Yes.
Council?
Yes.
We have resolution 2025-7. Aaron?
Thank you, Mayor. Simply just, council approving the 2.2 mils that the city asked for, the county budget commission in the 2026 tax budget. You can see it's kind of drafted in a little different format than the law department doing. This comes right from Driving County Budget Commission and you can see on the schedule. Also, there's a paid and 3.2 mils that we asked for.
Any objection to put this on consent agenda? Nothing's changed. And we'll put that on the consent agenda. Is there anything else? Yeah.
I don't think about it. There's an ongoing effort through a company called Talent Sense to interview candidates for the HR position that's open. My understanding that we reached the budget limit of that, the $15,000 for that type of expenditure, and I would like a motion to approve the expenditure of $25,000 additional dollars for Talent Sense so they can finish the job and make the recommendation to the city for a new HR director.
So we're gonna pay a firm $40,000 to find us an HR director?
No, up to 25.
To 25.
We're gonna pay $25,000 to find us an HR director.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, we're saying up to. Yeah,
We can't do that in-house?
no.
No.
No. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
DeGeronimo,
Yes.
Narduzzi,
Yes.
Pagliari,
No.
Tracus,
Aye.
Faverka,
Yes.
Walchanowicz.
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
And it's adopted. We should have someone, I'd say we should finish that up near future, so it'll be exciting, interesting, and dynamic. Okay, with that. Let's see. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. It's items listed under consent agenda and are considered routine. Each item will be read individually into the record, and the consent agenda will then be voted on as a whole, with one motion and one roll call. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Title only.
I have title only?
Second.
No.
I think it was.
I don't count. I don't count.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Ordinance 2025-104, an ordinance authorizing the purchase and delivery of snowplow cutting edges for the service department. Ordinance 2025-105, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Cuyahoga County General Health District for public health services for calendar years 2026 and 2027 for the city of Independence. Ordinance 2025-106, an ordinance authorizing an upgrade to the city's weather siren activation system for the fire department. Ordinance 2025-107, an ordinance accepting the bids for snowplow services for senior citizens, disabled persons, active military residents for the 2025-2026 snow season. Ordinance 2025-108, an ordinance authorizing the retention of the Manick and Smith Group, Inc. to provide general construction, engineering, and inspection services to the engineering department. Ordinance 2025-109, an ordinance authorizing change order number 1 to the general construction, engineering, and inspection services contract with ACM Construction Management, LLC 2025. Ordinance 2025-110, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a standard easement for the installation and maintenance of a water main for circulation purposes only with Petros Homes Independence, LLC. Ordinance 2025-112, an ordinance authorizing the retention of American Structure Point Inc. to provide general engineering services to the engineering department. Ordinance 2025-113, an ordinance accepting the proposal of GPD Group for design engineering services in connection with the Rockside Road traffic signal system upgrade. Ordinance 2025-114, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and or local transportation improvement programs and to execute documents as required for the Brecksville Road, State Route 21, Phase 2 and 3 water main replacements and resurfacing improvements, East Sprague Road to Rockside Road. Ordinance 2025-116, preliminary legislation, LPA ODOT LET project agreement consent. Resolution 2025-7, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county fiscal officer.
A motion to suspend the rules in the consent agenda.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any questions on the consent agenda adoption?
One question, I just want to make sure that. No, yeah,
No question.
Sorry. I just want to make sure that Don, you said it's September 11th, we had to add that to the Public Works Commission.
Right.
And then that is, this is going to be satisfactory to that.
Yes.
It's fine, thank you.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Narduzzi,
Yes.
Tagliati,
Yes.
Tracus,
Aye.
Laverca,
Yes.
Walchanwicz.
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
DeGeronimo.
Yes.
And the consent agenda is adopted. We have, let's see, ordinance 2025-117.
Title only.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry.
So 117.
First reading was.
Oh, for the first reading. Sure.
Ordinance 2025-117, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1994-49, a comprehensive ordinance establishing benefits for all regular full-time non-bargaining supervisory fire department employees.
And that'll remain on first reading. We have ordinance 2025-118.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance 2025-118, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2007-04, a comprehensive ordinance establishing benefits for all regular full-time non-bargaining supervisory fire department employees.
And that'll remain on first reading. We have ordinance 2025-119.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance 2025-119, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2001-02, a comprehensive ordinance establishing benefits for all regular full-time non-bargaining supervisory fire department employees.
And that'll remain on first reading. And that's all for our legislative action tonight. I made a motion to adjourn to executive session for real estate acquisition and discussion.
May I ask one question related to Jim's, motion? Is that, can you get an ordinance number? How does that work? We haven't had that before that I'm aware of.
What, you mean past legislate? Where we just authorize it? Yeah, you do that without ordinance.
Okay.
Vern, do you have any problem with that?
Subject to a lot of department, but council took a vote, so that's good for the auditors. There was a vote taken by the legislative body because the appropriating process, and the motion was to increase the contract from 4,000 to 25,000.
So, okay, I guess that answered the question. With that, a motion to go to executive session. We talk about real estate acquisition.
Yeah, you also want to move for these pending litigation as well.
Well, that's the one, I'm sorry, it's
To discuss.
pending
Pending
litigation.
litigation.
Yeah. So move, yeah. Good, that's good. Yeah, we can do that too.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We got to call him. Roll call, I'm sorry.
Tagliati,
Yeah.
Tracus,
Aye.
Laverca,
Yeah.
Walchanwicz.
Yes.
Day,
Yes.
DeGeronimo.
Yes.
Narduzzi.
Yes.
And it's adopted. We will not be taking any action after the meeting. So after the meeting, there'll be no action taken on any subject matter. So I want to thank everyone now for being here this evening. Reverend, thank you very much for blessing all of us and everyone here and everyone else, and have a great evening. God bless.
Hopefully.